Cricket presents The Campfire, and today we are talking District 5-5A Division II. The teams in this district include Arlington Seguin, Burleson, Corsicana, Ennis, Everman, Joshua, Mansfield Summit, and Midlothian Heritage. Let's analyze these teams in our film session. Midlothian Heritage went 7-0 in district play last year and made it 3 rounds deep in the postseason until losing in overtime to eventual state champs South Oak Cliff. Quarterback and district MVP Caden Brown moves on, but the defensive newcomer of the year, Noah O'Neill, is back. The transfer of playmaker TJ Pride to DeSoto will hurt, but expect the Jags to finish in the upper half of the district. Mansfield Summit gave Sock a scare in the first round of the playoffs, and they return a slew of skilled position starters, including Jordan Hubbard, Amari Burgess, and Joseph Williams. Everman finished second last year, and Jerian Basped returns for his third year starting behind center. Isaiah McMillan will be a go-to target for the Bulldogs in the passing game. Ennis will have a new quarterback, but with highly recruited Grayson Harris at wideout, the Lions could make a play for the district crown. Burleson has a new head coach as John Kitna took a new job in Cincinnati. Chad Worrell will be the new man for the Elks as they try to make the postseason. Look out for Joshua, and especially Eli Martinez in the backfield. The Owls should improve on a 2-win season last year. Seguin returns Cameron Cole on defense, while Corsicana will be looking for a district win this season. Switch to Cricket and get a free Moto G 5G with your new plan. Smile, you're on Cricket. For an even deeper look at 5-5A Division II, here's producer Ward Fasold and insider Matt Diggs with the district breakdown.
All right, district breakdown time. We are now talking 5-5A Division II. Last week you called it Region 2, the Region of Champions. Do we have a champion in this 8-team district? Especially, I'm a big fan of Summit, so let me know if Summit's that championship type team. I know several years ago you weren't a big fan, but I think we've put a bridge over those troubled waters.
I think we buried the hatchet, and I'm going to raise that Summit Jaguar flag up in this district. This is a very, very fun district. I mean, we saw it last year. It was a very competitive district. And Mansfield Summit, even as a 4 seed, probably gave South Oak Cliff their best game. South Oak Cliff only beat them 12-7, and it required a punt return at the end of the game. And when I talked to some of the coaches, they were like, man, Mansfield Summit got us ready. They were really kind of the catalyst that got us on the state championship run. And I think that Mansfield Summit might be the number 2 team in our area. We talked about some regional rankings and how we're going to do things. Obviously, I think you got to have South Oak Cliff as the number 1 team in the area as the defending state champion. But I think Summit is right there at number 2. Midlothian Heritage is a team that I'm very interested in because, you know, we talked about a couple of weeks ago with Argyle graduating and who's going to return the offensive production, and Midlothian Heritage is almost exactly that kind of a team, except they don't have the coach that they had, whereas obviously Todd Rogers has created that little bit of a infrastructure and a legacy for Argyle. Midlothian Heritage is changing coaches, and now they're playing up, and they're at a bit of a depth disadvantage coming up from 4A Division 1, moving to 5A Division 2, and graduating absolutely everybody.
All right, let me hear you 1 through 8, man, to finish this district off.
Finish this off. Number 1, we've got the rise of Mansfield Summit, and very likely a state championship contender this year. We may be seeing Mansfield Summit against South Oak Cliff for the right to go on to the state semifinals. Everman 2, Ennis 3, Midlothian Heritage 4, Burleson 5, Arlington Seguin 6, Joshua 7, and Corsicana 8.
I like it. And I'm sure they love the fact that over there at Summit that you're putting this added pressure on them in April. Get to the spring practices and work your butts off because Dixie's got you in the state title game. Let's go.
I did not say that, South Oak Cliff fans. We'll talk more about that next week when we talk about the reigning and defending state champions of the world, the South Oak Cliff Golden Bears.
I can't wait, brother.
We'll post the entire breakdown segment this Wednesday on our social media pages. Now let's take a look at some game changers and our players on the rise presented by Parker University. Jerian Basped is going into his 3rd year as Everman's starting signal caller. Last year, he threw for 2,200 yards and 24 touchdowns while rushing for almost 500 more yards. Bassbed really wanted to show off his arm last year, and he did just that as the Bulldogs finished in second place in 5-5A. Look for a solid senior campaign from the strong-armed QB. As a sophomore, Grayson Harris had ridiculous numbers as the primary receiver for Ennis. Check these stats out. In 12 games, Harris caught 87 passes for almost 1,400 yards and 10 touchdowns. He'll have a new quarterback tossing him the rock, but expect Harris to make that an easy transition. Though just a junior, Grayson already has big-time interest from schools like Oklahoma, Baylor, and Texas Tech. Wandame Davis Jr. played all over the field for Ennis last year, but he should be settling in at the quarterback position in 2023. The Lions found a variety of ways to get Davis the ball, and he made the most of his opportunities as he scored 10 touchdowns last year. He's most dangerous when he has the ball in the open field and uses his elusiveness to make defenders look silly when they try to bring him down. At Mansfield Summit, opponents need to be aware of edge rusher Legend Journey. He was a problem as a sophomore as he recorded 9 sacks, so last year when Legend was a junior, offenses began double-teaming him. His stats went down to 2 sacks and 54 tackles, but being able to take on 2 blockers opened up plays for his teammates. Journey is a strong defensive lineman who loves to knock the ball out as he forced 3 fumbles last year. He's got offers from Washington, TCU, and Oklahoma State, among others. Switch to Cricket and get 4 lines for $25 each per month, plus unlimited nationwide 5G. Smile, you're on Cricket. Our Ward Fasolo caught up with Mansfield Summit head coach Shannon Hall to talk about the Jags in our Media Day segment.
All right, it's Media Day. We're talking 5-5A Division II. I got Mansfield Summit head coach Shannon Hall. Coach, let's just be frank. The last 2-3 years, what we know is if you want to go to that state championship game, you got to go through Summit. Every single team that's made it to the championship game has had to beat you in the playoffs. I don't say much that doesn't do anything for you. It doesn't make you all that happy or anything, but at least you know that you have a team that can do some things. Last year, yes, you lost in the first round, but you gave South Oak Cliff probably their best game in the playoffs. Arguably, you got them their head straight, ready to go through the rest of those 5 games. But talk about how things have been going with Summit and how you've kind of changed that culture into believing that you guys are winners and then acting it out as well.
Yeah, well, I think it starts with my staff. I have a great staff. I put those guys against anyone in the state of Texas. They've been with me, majority of core, for going on 13 years. And we just got a good vibe. They know what I believe in. I know what they believe in. It's all about the kids. And it's a style we're going to play, which is we're going to play fast. We're going to play physical. We're going to play good defense. And we're going to love each other, So that's kind of where it starts. And, I think that always gives us a chance or makes it fun at least.
I was going to say, you had struggle with finding a leader last year. Is it during the off season this year? Is guys kind of pushing their way to the front? Hey, I know what I got to do now. I want to be that leader. I want to be the guy that can lead Summit to the top here.
You better believe it. Without leadership, there's nothing that's going to be done, because I'm in that locker room, I coach, but when we step out, what's going on, and it has to be echoed. We're saying they got to echo those things. They got to live those things. They got to be those things. And that's what we're searching for. And I feel like our kids, everything's trending in the right direction. Guys are working their tail off. And we're hungry. Like I said, when you play the guys that in that state game, you look at them eye to eye, it's tough. And South Oak Cliff is sitting right there, 2-time state champion. And they're not going anywhere. Coach Todd does an amazing job. And, and we're going to be honest, it goes through them. Everybody in the state of Texas in 5A Division II, you better be prepared for them guys because they're going to be there. And wherever they show up, round 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you better be ready. So, we're trying to get ready.
Hey, I appreciate you joining me today, Coach, and good luck 4 months down the road when we get this thing started.
No doubt. Go Jags.
You can catch the entire interview Friday on our social media channels. That's going to do it for this week's Campfire. Next week, we dive into District 6-5A Division II. Until then, have a great week, everybody.